Hello, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is Dr. Jayant Keskar from Australia, Enpro Envirotech Private Limited. So I'm going to talk today about opportunities for sustainability personnel in Australia. Um, just to give you a background about my company, I started this company in 2016 and basically like working into the area of water, wastewater, waste management with emphasis on the renewable energy. So all these things lead to sustainability, basically reducing the greenhouse gas emission, reducing the operating cost, as well as improving the triple bottom line for any industry sector. We do have partners in Japan, Middle East, India, New Zealand, as well as China. And what we do is, we provide the services and technologies in the sustainable environment management that basically help to reduce the climate change effect and work better for the global warming, reducing the global warming as well. When you're talking about sustainability, it is a very common definition for sustainability is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And as you are all aware, like sustainability has got three main pillars: economic, social, as well as environmental. Economic, social, and environmental pillars. So when you're talking about environmental pillars, it basically is an initiatives that are aimed at helping companies to reduce the carbon footprint. So basically, like here, you manage your water, wastewater, solid waste, energy management, and other stuff in a more better way. The social pillar focuses on an organization's people, both internally and externally, the community they impact as well. The economic pillar works again to ensure the companies are making profit through sustainable means and have ethical corporate governance, management practices that align with the interest of the stakeholders, customers, employees, as well as the communities. So when you look into the sustainability, why it is very, very important, because of many reasons. First and foremost is it basically help you to save the resources. When you're talking about sustainability, you are able to manage your resources, whether it is water, energy, or any other raw material in a more sustainable way. And that will help you to switch over to, getting less or improvise on optimizing the resources in the industry practices. It will have obviously the positive impact on the revenue, because when you are optimizing your overall resources, or doing some energy conservation, energy efficiency, those stuff, that definitely help you to get more revenue. It also help to get the workplace safety. Then that will also get helpful for your better marketing penetration. So if you say, like, we are more sustainable, we have very reduced carbon footprint, like carbon neutral, then obviously you can, based on those particular aspects, you can enter into different market sectors, into different regions as well, because you have that, you can use that as a selling point as well. You also get the recognition from the customers and other stakeholders. If you go to any shop nowadays, you will see that people prefer wherein there are companies who manufacture the products more in a sustainable way. So they have the packaging material, for example, that can be recycled back and doesn't end up into the landfill sites and those things. So there is also a sense of belongings to the employees, when you are achieving sustainability for the industry sector. There is always a motivation for improvement in different sectors. There is savings in the climate change, potential for resource recovery, circular economy, as well as the reduced operating cost. So when you're talking about sustainability stuff, as you see in the right-hand side, the outcomes are very important, and you need to consider what are the opportunities, where are the risks and the cost involved in that, whether you have sufficient manpower in terms of the leadership to take this to the next stage, and whether you have the backup of, again, the technology and innovation stuff as well. So essentially it is again like, divided into two mainstream, like strategic ambition and the executive levers. So based on those, definitely like, any industry is able to achieve the sustainability in the long term. When you're looking into the Australian scenario, like in Australia, most of the companies nowadays, they're starting looking around, implementing these sort of solutions, sustainability solutions, and basically reducing their carbon footprint. Now, these sort of steps have generated meaningful environmental and financial payoff for the many companies. As an example, like many companies have started managing their waste on site by source segregating and putting up some resource recovery plant. So that is definitely giving them some financial payoffs. The payback period for resource recovery projects usually is about 4 to 5 years. And after 5 years, that whatever that resource that they are recovering in terms of energy or other stuff, that is free of charge to them. The greatest challenge here, however, is the range of the skills required. When you say like skills required, there are different skill set required. Wherein you need to work out the business case, you need to arrange the finance, project management, strategy, innovation, R&D type of stuff as well. So in all these sectors, there are like different challenges here. So particularly in Australia, most of the companies are aiming to get carbon neutral by 2030 or 2050. So obviously, like all this drive is the next industrial transformation, and that is created new opportunities again for the innovation and the growth as well. Just to give you an example, like in one particular sector, like renewable power generation, which is mainly related to solar energy. So it is said that if we achieve 50% renewable energy generation by 2030, another 8 years down the line, the net gain in the implementation would be about 28,000 jobs. So this is all the research done by the Climate Council Research here in Australia. Now, when you look into the opportunities in Australia, like, there are a lot of opportunities in different, areas. When you're looking into opportunities into the sustainability, there is always like policy and regulation is foremost stuff. In climate change mitigation, water, soil waste, SAF, which is a sustainable aviation fuel, hydrogen, marine conservation, renewable energy that could be in the form of solar or hydro or wind or bioenergy sort of stuff, as well as the environmental conservation. So depending on which area you want to get into, these are some of the areas where you will see that there is a lot of things happening around here as well. Now, when you're talking about different sectors that are like really looking into these type of stuff, the agriculture industry, which wherein the National Farmer Federation, some of the organizations that they have there, they are definitely planning to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030, meaning that they have to implement different sustainable solutions. They have to think of, they have to form strategy, they have to work it out. What are the different areas where they can improve in? Similarly, in the livestock industry, whether it is a piggery industry or a dairy industry or a poultry industry, they are looking, implementing various sustainable solutions so that they can improve upon the triple bottom line, which is economic, social, and environmental benefit, for the industry sector as such. So just to give you an example, in the piggery sector, like they have started putting up, even in the dairy sector, they have started putting up some funding away for managing the waste in a more beneficial way. As you are aware, like from the manure, pig manure, cow manure, it is got very, very good source of the organic material that can be converted into biogas. And these sort of energy then can be utilized very well back into those sort of industries as well. Similarly, in case of the mining industry, a lot of things are happening around where the sustainable principles can be implemented into the mining sector. Even in the in the utility industries as well as the food industry, there are a lot of things happening wherein they are looking really into at different stage-wise approach and how they can implement different solutions and reduce overall operating costs for them, which in long term will improve their triple bottom line. So different industry sectors, wherever they are implementing these type of solutions, they are really very useful for them. they always think like in three different stage wise, in the three different stages. Like first is the before gate, in the gate, and after the gate. So looking into the supply chain, logistics, and other stuff, sourcing the raw material or the feed material, that feedstock, whatever that you're talking about, more sustainably. Some of the industries like big supermarket, giant groups, they are supporting their suppliers to achieve sustainability in their end, and they are giving the preference for picking up the the raw material, like whether it is fruits or vegetables or any other stuff, from the industry sectors who are really following the footsteps of the sustainability as well. So by and large, if you are following this type of sustainability stuff, definitely get benefit out of that. So if you really want to do something in Australia, whether you want to do a job, whether you want to do any business, you need to ask the questions yourself, like, did I study the current market status in Australia? What is the most demand opportunity, whether it is in policy sector or any specific industry sector, whether you are looking into water industry sector or food industry or mining industry. Then you need to check which concepts of SDG, like sustainable development goals, are relevant to me. What is my expertise area, whether do I have expertise in a specific area, and then which skill sets are required in the market, whether it is related to energy, technology, implementation, research, operation management, project management, and those stuff. So that you need to ask this question, which is again very, very important here. It so happens sometime that you may not have the required skill set to either work or do some business here in Australia. So you need to ask another question, what sort of additional skill set do I need to acquire, and where you can acquire those skill set. Are there any institutes like TAFE or any other organizations who can provide this sort of additional skill set, so that you can implement your knowledge and experience in this country? Which organizations are involved in the sustainability? Again, this is very important. Whatever skill set that you have, you need to find out the relevant organizations who are really interested in implementing sustainability. Then you can also check what role could I play here, like whether I would be in the project management, implementation, R&D, innovation, those sort of areas that need to look into. How best I can establish myself at the end of the day in the Australian market. And again, finally, like whether and how can I be the right person at the right time and the right place. So these are some of the important things that you need to check yourself before moving out here. What are the takeaway message here? Sustainability again is a very broad and relatively new field, as such, and it is definitely going to be expanding forever in the near future. And as a society becomes more educated, consumer demands are changing, and obviously more people are asking for sustainable product packaging, making the conscious effort to choose the green brands. Always they prefer to green brand. As you know, like there is a good value for money for the organic stuff that is available in the market as well. Again, the businesses are reacting by creating new roles focused on developing ESG friendly practices. So what you call back in India, the corporate social responsibility, it's similar to ESG here, environmental social governance. And the solutions in every function. So they are really implementing it every function, because these roles are new to everyone. The playing field is even. So you have the opportunity for both levels, like junior, mid-level, or senior level. So that is very much possible. And different areas, as I said earlier, like research, strategy development, assessment, implementation of action plan, and those things again can very well be, open fields for the people who really wanted to get into this sort of sustainability field. So I think end of the day, what we can do is, we can work together, like sharing the knowledge, sharing the ideas, and talking to people, getting into the network, and achieve sustainability at the end. Thank you very much for hearing this thing. If you have any questions, you can then check it out. Thank you. Bye.